Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So 2 days ago, I shared a YouTube on, is it a fighting art or it is a daydreaming make-believe? And after I shared that video, many of our traditional Chinese martial art friends and Wing Chun friends message me, and some even comment on the internal art and get into the Qigong or Neigong stuff as usual. So today I'd like to share with you the truth of so-called internal art. See, in today's world, the term internal art, or some even call it Neigong art or Qigong art, is actually a marketing for the most. So since it is a marketing, it never really is the real, the true internal art of the Chinese. Now, I'm saying this, you will say probably, so what is the proof, Hendrik, right? The proof explicitly, where you can see around the world, even if you visit China, is everybody is presenting stories. And then some might presenting some kind of gimmick, like electric shock, like pushing people away and telling you that, oh yeah, you know, this peoples in the past can do this, can fight this, can fight that. Well, a lot of stories, a lot of gimmicks. Will any one of these people today be able to visit Xi Xiaodong and not fighting Xi Xiaodong, just show Xi Xiaodong what it is? You can see that Xi Xiaodong is not a really bad guy. He's pretty reasonable. If you be able to show him with evidence. So, does anybody do that? No. But you keeping here about this internal Qigong, Neigong, and then in the past, who fight who, you know, who be able to defeat foreigners and so forth, so forth. Another thing is this. Another thing is there are many claims being made for past 100 years. But have you seen any real internal art people which is claimed today or with the story today ever go to like Thailand fighting the Thai boxer? We're not even talking about winning the Thai boxers. We're talking about the draw. You don't see that either. On the other hand, you see Mas Oyama bringing his team to Thailand, 1964. And what is the result? Everybody can see that. So in a really surface, you can see this. If you go deeper, well, guess what? There are definitions in the past on what is the real internal art means. Not like today. Oh, Tai Chi is internal. Wing Chun is external. Or Wing Chun have internal. My Wing Chun is internal. Your Wing Chun is external. Not those things. Those are really empty claim without contents. In the past, there are definitions, details, content definitions on what is internal. Well, I'll show you. Over here, per 1950s, there's already a definition for what is the internal art. Internal art meaning one be able to nurture qi, be able to develop or condition their internal organs. Nurture qi, naturally be able to condition their internal organ naturally. External art not be able to do that. External art can fight. Okay? But external art, the differences between the external art and internal art is external art do not be able to naturally nurture the qi and condition or help their internal organs. So that is the definitions. Okay? Now, so anybody sharing that they can push you away with this electric shock gimmick or who can fight who and all those stuff, that is not satisfied the content of internal training. Internal training means you have to be able to nurture qi or be able to condition your internal organs. In today's language, you will be able to show how you can handle your heart rate variability, like those yogic or those guru, real guru, or handle your heart rate, your respiratory rate in the meditative way, not in the harsh way. So that's what it is. Well, I'd like to share with you, even in the 1950s, already people know that many things are made up in a very screwed up way. Particularly here, there's record that Tai Chi sets being made up. Many Tai Chi sets being made up. And it is very screwy in the handling of the Qi flow. This is reality. And of course, this is before the cultural revolutions. After the cultural revolutions, all these people put in the jail and they die. And you see the entire Chinese government is promoting the Tai Chi and even to go to Olympic. But they ignore all this thing, the screw up thing. People who have no idea what is internal create their own stuff. Just they name it Tai Chi, they name it internal, then everybody take it. "20 years ago, in China, the past generation who already passed away have already know about the anaerobic and aerobic, have already know that the hard style, the anaerobic style is for fighting, the soft style is for health. The Tai Chi and Bagua with this Fa Jing, neutralizing the soft and slow, those are good for the old age or middle-aged people for exercise. So do these people who really practice the internal training art know what is going on? Sure. They know those Tai Chi stuff, which is soft and slow with this neutralized Hua Jing, Fa Jing. Those cannot fight. And if you need to fight, you need to have this hard and strong thing, which just end up in the anaerobic. And all the soft style and so forth, those are aerobic, mostly aerobic. So the Chinese, many of the older generations, or a lot of the older generations, they know what they are talking about. It is today's people have no idea what they are talking about and get into this magical, mysterious stuff. So it is no longer what it is. about 100 years ago, this book is written about in 1930s. It already talked about heart rate, the pulse rate, and the breathing rate. That's how scientific it is. This real traditional Chinese martial artist. Okay. So what is internal? Internal actually means comprehensive, meaning you be able to develop your qi, you be able to condition your body. Scientifically, you be able to measure it. You know, it is either it is the anaerobic or aerobic training, because you need both if you want to fight. And also you need to know the meridians, the qi and so forth of the handling, not just making up thing and being philosopher. So what is internal? This is internal for the ancient, the real Kung Fu master. So is Wing Chun internal? The Wing Chun 1850 internal? Sure. It has the nurture chi part, the transportation, synchronizations of the chi part, then the fighting part, which is the explosive and the speed endurance training as here. All those you can use scientific data to justify it. And in the fighting part, you have the Shaolin short strike, the uniqueness way, which is I have shared with you so much. So this is the means of fighting. This is the conditioning. It is internal because it starts from the nurture chi, and then your meridians, and then to the fighting from the soft and the hard. You can do the soft and the hard. So 1850s Wing Chun, per the ancient definitions, is internal training, but it is not today's internal training of Dao, Qi, and then have this magic and stories, who fight who. No, it is comprehensive. As over here, it say that you be able to nurture the Qi conditions, or to help your internal organ, develop your internal organs and the fighting. So the real internal there with the heart rate variability, the heart rate respiratory rate, the anaerobic, aerobic, everything there. So we like it or not, today, the real holistic or comprehensive Wing Chun exists only in America. Why do I say that? The real internal is in this book. How you softly nurture the qi, develop the kung fu of the breathing, sinking qi to dantian, and the synchronizations of your meridians and so forth. You cannot find in anywhere in the world if you talk about those things. For the fighting part, the hard part, you have the multiple functions, multi-dimensional force, the recycling momentums, the footwork, the real plum footwork, which is associated with this, and the real hand techniques. We have these two books in the America. So we have the basic of the Wing Chun 1850, and it is internal. Disregard of using anybody's really sophisticated internal training definitions. So unless one have this, one can fulfill this, one really don't have internal art. Disregard, you call it Wing Chun or Tai Chi or Bagua or Xingyi or whatever. Because we need to follow the ancient definition, not like I can say whatever I want. Okay. So this is what I like to share with you. Real internal is real because you be able to measure it scientifically. Like for example, this is the internal. Is talk about the develop the internal organs. This is the external. You need to have power for fighting and momentum and so forth. Well, you look at this blood. These distributions of system cardiac output at rest and during strenuous exercise. So you know that at rest, at soft, where you want to develop your internal organs and so forth, or having it or condition it, you need that with a low heart rate. With the resting, you develop that because your distributions of system cardiac output at rest is in your internal organ, which is at your aerobic base, the low aerobic level, like your meditative level. And as the anaerobic, you need, your blood needs to distribute to the skeleton muscle. So this is for your internal training. This is for your muscular and skeleton and so forth endurance training for fighting. What is so difficult to know? What is so magical? There is no magical. All is scientific and logical. If you don't train that, you don't get it. So, why is this book important for Wing Chun and other traditional Chinese martial arts? It's because scientifically it model and describe what it is. Why is this book is so important for Wing Chun? Because the short strike art and the momentum handling is needed, and now it is in English. So unless one know these two books, one learn be able to do whatever in these two books, one really don't know Wing Chun internal. So if you say that it's just external, if you don't know about the content of this book, no meaning proficient with it, one really don't know what is Wing Chun. And of course, this is Wing Chun 1850s, not the movie make-believe Wing Chun. Why it is is a real martial art? Because this is from General Qi Ji Guang, from the battlefield, derived from that. This is from Chinese medicines, all those ancient Buddhist, Taoist, and now it is put it in the science, sports science and medical science. So it is simple stuff. It is really clear now in well, of course, I spent decades on this thing just to do this. We have it in America. Asia do not have it yet. So as what I mentioned before, you just transfer whatever we got from Asia to the United States of America. We map it in the science. And because it is quantized, it is systematically presented, then you can preserve the art in the United States of America or in the West. So this is what I like to share with you. What internal, external, whatever, it is really clear that if you follow the real Chinese martial art teaching, it is the internal. Let me share with you. Most people are not internal, even they call internal, because they don't know how to do whatever in the Chinese ancient classic as present here. And now this is with the scientific measurement. And you can look at them, whatever they talk, whatever they present. Is it making any sense with this? Most don't. They just talk about qi, yi, energy. Like this morning, somebody is saying that they are lifting their anus, stop breathing, holding their breathing, lifting anus is qi. I say this is nonsense. Those are stop breathing and lifting anus is just handling the intra-abdominal pressure and handling the blood oxygen and carbon dioxide, what do you call it? Transferring. You have a blood here, you have the oxygen, and you have carbon dioxide. How do you transfer the oxygen into your blood? You need the carbon dioxide and so forth, because it's about breathing. So when you hold your breathing, there are many things happen there between your blood, your carbon dioxide, and the oxygen. So what is qi? And you don't want to screwing around with all those holding breathing. You can cause yourself dizzy. And also when you ki, you don't want to prolong your ki, because if you ki too long, you can cause yourself dizzy because of the imbalance of your oxygen in your blood and your carbon dioxide and so forth. This is science. So if you continue have those magic stuff, how are you going to fight Xi Xiao? Don't forget about it. This is hopeless. In one way, you don't know the body, like the carbon dioxide, the oxygens, and the blood, the oxygen, the blood. We need that to fuel your body. On the other hand, you don't know the intra-abdominal pressure handling. And then you don't know about the momentum, which is, you call it the hard kung fu. Can any soft, those fa jing stuff handle like the shoot in of the Xi Xiaodong? The answer is no. You cannot see it today. That's why I said. For past 100 years, you can see Mas Oyama bring his Kyokushin team to to Thailand. Can those the soft hua jing, meaning neutralize the jing and those kind of things, play in Thailand? Of course not. So like in the momentum is the inputs of the momentum, the inputs function of the momentum. Like you're hit by a car, can you huajing? You know, to playing with your friends, to help have a more effective and efficient of handling strength. Those are good. Like your push hand and your chi sao. But for the real fight, are you serious? Those things gonna hit you like a car running 60 miles per hour. You're going to saying that you have this jing and all this thing. That is called daydreaming and have no idea on what exactly the real Chinese is talking about. So for the serious Wing Chuners, go really study this 2-book hard. The reason you need this is because, first of all, you will not be able to study all the Chinese to understand this. Even you have a PhD in the Chinese, you are not likely to be able to understand what the Chinese say. The second thing is this is in the scientific way. So you can measure it, you can really clearly know what is it. Until we know what it is, what do we know? We don't know anything. But just hearsay, he say, she say, magic say, philosophy say, everybody can make up themselves. Where as what I just now show you, even in the 1950, people say that people at that time already know that people are making up Tai Chi set, where they have no idea on this thing. Just go making up their sets. So this is what I like to share with you. Okay, this 2 book, I leave it for everybody because it's educations. If you don't know the content of these 2 books, you are running a big risk on you following somebody's fantasy.